Hello students, how are you all? Welcome to Tungal online classes. I hope you all are fine and doing good. So today onwards, first year part test will begin. So in that, the first year syllabus divided into 4 parts. The first part test is on structure of atom, basic concepts of chemistry, periodic table and chemical bonding. So before writing the part test, we should practice all those formulas and bits. So that's why we are providing you 4 assignments before the test day. So now today I would like to discuss assignment number 1, which is on part test 1. So in that, the first bit is 1 Fermi is, so 1 Fermi is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 15 meters. So if it is converted into centimeters, it will be 10 to the power of minus 13 centimeters. 1 Fermi is equal to 10 to the power of minus 15 meters, otherwise 10 to the power of minus 13 centimeters. Second question, given the numbers 161 centimeters, 0.161 centimeters, 0.0161 centimeters. The number of significant figures for these 3 numbers. How many significant figures are there in these 3? So all the non-zero digits are significant. All the non-zero digits after a decimal point will be significant. All the non-zero digits after the decimal point in this also significant. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So each and every value having 3 significant figures. Hence answer will be 3, 3 and 3. Right? Next, big number 5. Which of the following is not an element? Element means it should be available in a free form but not in a combined form. For example, diamond and graphite are elemental forms of carbon. Diamond only carbon atom, graphite also carbon atom linked together. But in silica, silica means sand, SiO2. SiO2 is a compound, it's not an element. It is a combined state. Ozone is elemental form of oxygen. So these 3, A, B and D in elemental form, but silica is a compound but not element. So hence answer is option C correct. And one more thing, there are 60 bits in the assignment. So it is difficult to discuss all the bits in the video. That's why I discuss bit by bit. Simply odd number bits I will discuss, right? Okay students, bit number 7. In that, which of the following halogen can be purified by sublimation? Sublimation means solid converted into gas directly. To convert solid into gas directly, the bonds between the molecule or constituent particle must be weaker. When heated, easily directly converted into gas. So that will be happened in iodine, because iodine size is larger. Iodine and iodine bonds are weaker, weak van der Waals forces. That's why easily broken and directly converted into solid. So hence answer will be iodine, easily sublimable. Next, Avogadro number is, first option, number of atoms in 1 gram of element. It is not a valid option. So number of milliliters which 1 mole of gaseous substance occupies at NTP, volume of gas occupied at STP, called which one? Molar value. Next, that is not Avogadro number. Next, number of molecules present in 1 gram molar mass of substance. So number of atoms or molecules present in 1 molar mass of molecules or molar mass of or atomic mass of atom called Avogadro number. So we know that number of atoms, number of carbon atoms present in 12 grams of carbon called Avogadro number, that is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. Similarly, generalized form is number of molecules present in molar mass of a substance called Avogadro's number. So I think the relevant option is option C, right? Okay students, we'll move to the next one. The next bit, 11th bit. Sulfur forms the chlorides S2Cl2 and SCl2. The equivalent mass of sulfur in SCl2. Equivalent mass formula is molecular mass by N factor. We know already. Equivalent mass formula is molecular weight by N factor. That is the formula, right? So in SCl2 we want that to sulfur only, but not SCl2. Sulfur mass will be 32 grams, right? And in SCl2, sulfur is plus 2. 2 chloride ions will be minus 2. Each chloride ion carries minus 1. There are 2 chloride ions, hence 2 into minus 1 minus 2. Minus 2, 2 chloride ions, plus 2 will be sulfur. Plus 2 is the N factor. 32 is the mass of sulfur in SCl2. 2 is the N factor or valence factor in SCl2. That is for sulfur. Then how much you will get? Around 16. Molecular mass by N factor. Then answer will be 16. So which option right answer? Option B correct to this question. Move to the 13th question. Question number 13. The law of definite proportion not applicable to nitrogen oxides because definite proportion means by whatever the method that is, if you prepared a compound by the combination of 2 or more elements, the composition of the compound must be fixed. But in case of nitrogen, that composition is not fixed. That's why for nitrogen, law of definite proportions will not be applicable for nitrogen oxides. Reason they are expecting. So why? First one, if you observe nitrogen when combined with oxygen, then gives different oxides, NO, NO2, NO, N2O3, N2O4, N2O5. It means N factor changed. Charge changed. Nothing but valence factor, also called N factor, changed. If N factor changed, the equivalent weight will be changed. Atomic weight of nitrogen fixed. But valency of nitrogen will be variable because nitrogen has a tendency to show -3 to +5 oxidation states. It means valency factor changed, obviously equivalent mass also changed. Then the compound formed will not be in a definite proportion. Hence the right option is, so here equivalent weight changed. So C correct. Nitrogen equivalent weight is variable. Equivalent weight is variable. Remaining all are okay. Next, which property of an element is always whole number? So for example, atomic weight, if you observe, chlorine 35.5, it's not a whole number. Next, equivalent weight. Equivalent weight depending upon valence factor, it will be variable, even fraction also sometimes. This is wrong option. Atomic number. Atomic number always fixed. Number of protons called atomic number. It will be always fixed and a whole number. And atomic volume. Volume may be 22.4 liters, 22.2 liters, 12.3 liters, whatever it may be. So the valid option for this question is option C correct. Right? Okay, next bit is bit number 17. The weight of 1 into 10 to the power of 22 molecules of copper sulfate is, that's what they are asking. So first of all, weight of Avogadro number is equal to their molecular mass. You know copper mass, copper is 63.5, sulfur 32, and oxygens 4 are there. Each oxygen carries 16 grams, 16 into 4, 64. And water molecule mass is 18 grams. Oxygen 16, 2 hydrogens, 2, 16 plus 2, 18. So 63.5 plus 32 plus 64 plus 5 into 18. When you added all this, you will get 249.5 grams. That is Avogadro number. So solution 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. Copper sulfate molecules mass is equal to 249.5 grams. Getting, students? Avogadro number of copper sulfate molecules mass is equal to 249.5 grams. Then for us, how many molecules given? 1 into 10 to the power of 22 molecules of copper sulfate is equal to how many grams? Cross multiplication. So once you solve this, so 10 to the power of 22 into 249.5 by Avogadro number. Finally, you'll get the answer 4.159 grams. Answer will be C, option C correct. Right? Bit number 19. Empirical formula of an acid is CH2O2. And the probable molecular formula of acid may be. They gave empirical formula. You know the definition of empirical formula? The simplified ratio of atoms present in a compound called empirical formula. Now, molecular formula means it should be multiplied with n factor. We don't know n factor here. If it is one n factor, that will be same formula. Empirical formula is equal to molecular formula. So empirical formula multiplied by n value, then you will get a molecular formula, as you know that. So here molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into n factor. It is our formula. Getting all of you? So to get a molecular formula, suitable one, n factor you should consider 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. By which integer you will get a suitable formula. That's your right answer. So first of all, n is equal to 2 I am considering, students. 2 means C2H4O4 should come. But here C2H4O2 only in the option C. That's why wrong option. If n factor is 3, then C3H6O6. C3H6O4 only, but O6 required. That's why wrong option. And it is invalid already. And if n is equal to 1, it is 1. Then same answer, CH2O2. That's why the n factor to get a suitable molecular formula among these 4 options for this question will be 1. It only matched. That's why right answer is option B correct. Next bit. 21. The fundamental particles present in the nucleus of an atom. You know already. In the center of an atom there is a nucleus. In the nucleus, protons and neutrons. Electrons revolve around the nucleus but not in the nucleus. So as you know that. So this is nucleus, right? So I am writing here. So this is nucleus. It is electron revolve around the nucleus in a circular path. In the nucleus, which is available in neutrons plus protons. Getting all of it? So answer will be second option. Neutrons and protons present in nucleus. Okay, students. Bit number 23rd bit. So now, the correct decreasing order of boiling points. They gave water, ammonia and HF here. In all these cases, there is an electronegative atom and electropositive hydrogen atom. Hence, there is a possibility to form hydrogen bonding. So, in which case stronger hydrogen bonding is there? That is having high boiling point to break the strong hydrogen bond. So, need more energy, hence boiling point will be more. So, now boiling point is directly proportional to hydrogen bonding. First of all, hydrogen bonding is directly proportional to electronegativity. This is the hint for this question. Boiling point is directly proportional to hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bonding directly proportional to electronegativity. More the electronegativity, more the bonding with electropositive hydrogen. Get it? Yes. So electronegativity order we know already. Fluorine is the most electronegative element in the periodic table. After that oxygen, after that nitrogen. So more electronegative means more strong bond and high boiling point. Hence, HF first, followed by O, followed by NH3. So answer will be first option. Option A correct based on electronegativity order. Next, bit number 25. Which of the following pair is not correctly matched? They gave the scientist and the discovered topic. First, Rutherford, nucleus. Yes, he said about nucleus by alpha scattering experiment. Thomson, J.J. Thomson, he discovered electron by cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Right option. Next, Chadwick, James Chadwick, he discovered neutron by bombarding the alpha nuclei with the beryllium sheet. Next, Bohr discovered circular paths, nothing but orbits, energy, radius, all he explained, spectrum also, but not isotopes. They are asking not correctly matched. So, option D is not correctly matched. Next, 27 bit number. Isoelectronic species are, iso means same, electronic means electrons. The species having same number of electrons called isoelectronic species. K plus Cl minus, potassium atomic number 19. 19 electrons and 19 protons must be there actually. But plus 1 is there. Plus 1 means 1 electron less, deficient. Plus sign indicates deficiency. Minus sign indicates excess. Getting all of you? So 19 actually, plus 1 means 18 electrons. Chlorine actually 17 electrons. Minus 1 is there, that's why 18. One electron will be added for negative charge. 1 electron will be subtracted for positive charge. So I think both are same number of electrons. Sodium 11 electrons. Na plus means 10 electrons. Chlorine, chloride 18 electrons just discussed. 10 18 not isoelectronic. 11 18 not isoelectronic. 10 18 not isoelectronic. So option A correct. Same number of electrons present in K plus and Cl minus. Okay students, next bit number 29. Bohr's model can explain spectrum of hydrogen atom only, spectrum of atom or ion containing 1 electron only, spectrum of hydrogen molecule and solar spectrum. Observe carefully. Bohr's can explain the spectrum of atom or ion containing 1 electron only, like He plus, Li plus 2, etc. All are having 1 electron only. For them only he explained the spectrum, not for H2 molecule, not for multi-electron. That is a drawback of Bohr's model. So right option is option B to this question. Next students, 31. Energy of an orbit. will be increases or decreases when you move away from the nucleus. That's what question. This is the nucleus, first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, fourth orbit. Getting, students? So you know the energy formula, that is minus 13.6 by n square. Minus 13.6 by n square. Energy of an electron in a particular orbit. That is the formula. Electron volts. Many formulas are there. Joules, calories, kilocalories, kilojoules. I took electron volts formula. Okay. So if n is equal to 1, what is the formula? Minus 13.6 by 1 square. Right? 2 minus 13.6 by 3 square. 3 minus 13.6 by 3 square. 4 minus 13.6 by 4 square. Up to infinite levels are there. Many levels around the nucleus. Infinite number of levels are available. Getting, students? So infinite one is minus 13.6 by infinite. Something by infinite will be 0. In the beginning minus 13.6. Gradually minus 3.4. Minus 1.3 something. Finally it becomes 0. Minus to 0. It means value increasing. Understood, all of you? Finally minus value becomes 0 for infinite value. Infinite orbit. The energy of electron in the last shell is infinite. That's why it is a free electron. Getting, all of it? So now, as you move from nucleus, as you move away from the nucleus, n value increases, energy will be negative to 0. Negative to 0 in the sense, energy of an electron will be increases. Getting, students? So as we move from nucleus, energy increases as you move away from the nucleus. Answer will be option A correct. Right? Okay, students. Next bit is bit number 33. That is, the energy of radiation of wavelength 800 angstrom unit is E1. And the energy of radiation of wavelength 16,000 angstrom unit is E2. What is the relation between these two? So they gave two wavelengths. One is 80,000, another one is 16,000. Energy will be E1 and E2. And the relation they are expecting. So now, E is equal to hc by lambda. You know already. hc by lambda. From this, energy and wavelength is inversely proportional to wavelength. So then, E1 by E2 is equal to lambda 2 by lambda 1. It means energy is inversely proportional to which one? Wavelength. Hence, like this. Then, first one is E1, second one is E2. Getting? Is equal to lambda 2. Second wavelength will be 16,000 given. First wavelength will be 8,000 given. So it becomes 2. So then E1 is equal to, E2 shifted here. Finally it is 2 already there, 2E2. E1 is equal to 2E2. Getting, students? So I think right option will be, second option is the right answer. Next question. Which of the following has a tetrahedral geometry? Tetrahedral means sp3 hybridization. It should must. In which case it is possible? That's what they are asking. First of all, hybridization you have to follow. Z is equal to half into. So number of valency electrons plus monovalent atoms minus cation charge plus anion charge. It is the simplified formula to find the hybridization. Valence electrons in central atom boron. I am taking first option. I am verifying. Central atom boron in the first option. Boron valence electrons 3 because it is a third group element. Then Z is equal to half into 3 plus monovalent atoms 4 hydrogens. Hydrogen forms only one bond, that's why monovalent atom. Valency of hydrogen is 1. So there are 4 monovalent hydrogen atoms, that's why plus 4. Minus, there is no cation, 0, and anion will be 1, that is 3 plus 4 plus 1, totally how much? 8 into half, that is equal to 4. 8 into half. 4 means sp3 students. 4 means Z sp3. If Z is equal to 2, sp. Z is equal to 3, sp2. Z is equal to 4, sp3. Like that you have to decide. sp3 is there, that is tetrahedral. That's why the right answer is option A. You verify remaining also. You won't get which shape that is a tetrahedral shape. That's what important. Next, de Broglie's wavelength associated with a particle of mass will be 10 power minus 6 with a velocity of 10 meter per second. You know de Broglie's wavelength formula, that is lambda is equal to h by mv, direct formula. Yeah, take that. Lambda is equal to h by m formula, where h is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 by mass given is 10 power minus 6 kgs into velocity given is 10 meters per second. Once you solved this, 10 to the power of minus 5 left here, minus 5 shifted to numerator becomes plus 5. Plus 5 means 10 to the power of minus 20. Right? Option B correct, students. Here, are you getting this? Calculation. Check once. Lambda is equal to h by mv formula. H is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 by mass is equal to 10 to the power of minus 6 into velocity will be 10 meter per second. Then you'll come to know answer. Right? Okay, students. Next bit 39. In beryllium, 4th electron will have 4 quantum numbers. Principal quantum number, azimuthal, magnetic, and which one? Spin quantum number. Beryllium atomic number will be 4. Atomic number 4 means 1s2, 2s2. It is configuration. Right? Last electron is this one. 2s na it is. 2s contains 2 electrons. Getting all of you? 4th electron will have which quantum numbers? Yes. 4th electron. It is 2. N is equal to 2. For S, L value will be 0. So L values are SPDF, SPDF, 0, 1, 2, 3. These are which values, students? L values. Get it? For S, L value will be 0. L value 0. If L value 0, M value also 0. M also 0. Last electron. This is first electron. This is last electron. Last one. First one is plus half spin. Last one is minus half spin. Then spin quantum number is equal to minus half. Once again, last shell is 2s2. So this number is n. N is equal to 2. S given, for that L value will be 0. Right? Next, if L0, M also 0. If L1, M values will be minus 1, 0, plus 1. L2, M value will be minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. Here L is equal to 0 for S orbit. That's why M value also 0. And last electron spin will be minus half. That's why which is right option? 2, 0, 2, 0, 0, minus half. I think C, option C correct. Get it? Next, which of the following is correct configuration of chromium? Chromium configuration we know already. 4s1 3d5. 4s1 unpaired, 3d5 also unpaired, all are unpaired. So 3d5 it is 3d5, it is 4s1. This is the right answer. This is wrong answer. 3d4, 4s2 wrong. So it is also 3d5 only given, 4s1 not given, wrong. It is wrong. So the right option is this one. Option C correct. Okay students, next bit 43. The electron affinity values for the halogens show the following trend. Very PUC question also, important PUC question also, even in the second year also, in halogen family. We read already, chlorine has more electron affinity than fluorine. Why? 2 marks question it is actually. So fluorine size is smaller actually. Chlorine size is a suitable size, also called optimum size. Electron affinity meaning first of all required. Amount of energy released when one electron gained, that energy called electron affinity. Get it? Now, fluorine is a smaller one. So fluorine atomic number 9. 9 electrons are there in the small size. If it takes one more electron into the smaller size, obviously already there are 9 electrons are repelled. If you take one more electron, repulsions more. It means unable to take one more electron and releasing less energy. If electron taken easily, energy releases more. That is called electron affinity. If you consider chlorine, chlorine size is somewhat okay, suitable size. It can take electron easily and releases more energy. So what about next element, bromine? Bromine size is very high, top to bottom. Size increases, distance between the nucleus and electron increases. So difficult to take electron, and if difficult to take electron, difficult to release energy also, less energy. So that's why fluorine less than chlorine, chlorine greater than bromine and iodine. So finally, chlorine has more electron affinity than fluorine because of its compact size of fluorine. Fluorine in fluorine there are interelectronic repulsions. That's why electron affinity decreases. So chlorine is more when compared with bromine and iodine also. Right? Option A correct, students. In the periodic table, the element with atomic number 16 will be placed in the group. So here atomic number 16, right? 16 means the element is sulfur. You know already, up to 30 you should remember. So that is sulfur. Sulfur is oxygen family. Oxygen family is nothing but a 16th group or 6th group. That is oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, all are. Oxygen family is 6th group. Right? Next. Option 4 correct. Lithium shows diagonal relationship with lithium, beryllium, boron. After this, sodium, magnesium, aluminum. You know already. These are second period elements. These are third period elements. So first element in the second period and second element in the third period will be diagonally related, and these two will be diagonally related. So which is diagonally related? Lithium and magnesium will be diagonally related. That's why answer will be option B correct. Lithium diagonally related with magnesium. Okay, next bit number 49. The lanthanoid contraction is responsible for the fact that, you know, lanthanoid contraction even we studied in second year also. So due to the poor shielding or screening effect of 4f orbitals, the size of 4f and 5f series elements will be almost same. In 4f series zirconium, in 5f series hafnium. Both elements are having almost same size. This is called lanthanoid contraction. So which option right answer? Zirconium and hafnium having the same radius. So this is your right answer. Remaining wrong. Zirconium and yttrium. Yttrium is a 3D series. Wrong it is. Zirconium and nobelium. Wrong that is. Zirconium and zinc. Zinc is 3D series, not 4D series. There is a size same in 4D as well as 5D. Due to poor screening effect of 4f orbitals, the size of 4D and 5D series elements will be same. Zirconium is a which one, that is 4D series element. Hafnium is a 5D series element. Both are having same size. That's called lanthanoid contraction. Next, 51 students. Ionic conductance of following cation in the given concentration will be ionic conductance in aqueous medium. It's not in the solid state. Aqueous medium means, for example, lithium. It is smaller the size, obviously more water molecules will be easily attached to the lithium. That is called hydration. Size small, more water molecules surrounds, right? So obviously more surrounding, these are all water molecules, just imagine, right? All size will be more. If you take the last element in this group, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium is the last element. Here they give up to rubidium only. Rubidium size somewhat larger. Size increases, solvation will be decreases. It means water attacking capacity will be decreases, because the distance between the nucleus and outermost will be increases. So rubidium somewhat increases, but solvation is less, right students? So this is after solvation size of lithium. Before solvation, this is the size of lithium. After hydration, it means water surrounds in ionic solution, then size of lithium will be increased. So if you observe rubidium, in the beginning somewhat large only, but hydration of rubidium is less. Less in the sense, less water molecules. Obviously after solvation, this is the size after hydration. It means after hydration, lithium size is larger in aqueous medium. After hydration, rubidium size becomes smaller because of less hydration. Ion in solution will be larger or heavier, cannot move faster. If ion in aqueous medium will be smaller, can move faster. Understood all of you? So after solvation, rubidium size will be lower, then migrate easily, it can move fast. Conductance will be more in ionic solution. Getting? That's why order will be hydration increases, size increases, obviously conductivity will be decreases. Hydration increases for lithium, conductivity becomes decreases. Hydration decreases for rubidium, conductivity will be increases. Then right option will be rubidium more conductivity in aqueous solution due to less hydration. Lithium less conductivity in aqueous solution due to more hydration, that causes larger in size, unable to move faster. So right option is option A correct, right? The conductivity should be considered in aqueous medium after solvation or hydration only, but not in the beginning. You have to remember. Next, 53rd. Which of the following element has lowest ionization enthalpy? Ionization enthalpy means amount of energy required to remove an electron from outermost orbit, called ionization enthalpy. So here, first A group elements are more reactive metals, we know already. More reactive means they can easily donate electrons and easily lose electrons with less energy. That's why these are more reactive. For example, sodium is more reactive if you compare. What is the last shell? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1, no? Last shell configuration. 3s1. This electron can be easily removed to get a stable configuration. So, ionization enthalpies of first year group elements are very low. With low energy, you can easily remove the electron, nothing but that electron can be easily participate in a chemical reaction. Hence, first year group elements are more reactive because of low ionization enthalpy values. Hence, option is lithium. Lithium is ionization, alkaline metal or first year group element. Right? Next. Okay, next bit number 55. Which of the following molecule does not contain unpaired electron? So, as per molecular orbital energy diagrams, we should know first of all electronic configuration. Less than 14 electrons are there. In such cases, configuration will be sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, sigma pi 2px, pi 2px, pi 2py, sigma 2pz, next pi star 2p x, pi star 2py and sigma star 2pz. So these are the this is the electronic configuration. This is for less than 14 electrons or equal to 14 electrons containing molecules. Okay, less than or equal, less than or equal to. Okay, next, greater than 14 electrons are there in a molecule. In that case, how to write? Sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s. So here sigma 2pz, pi 2px, pi 2py, next pi star 2px, pi star 2py and sigma star 2pz. And this is the variation actually. I underlined clearly, students. You just follow the configuration. Which of the following molecule does not contain odd electron? Odd electron means unpaired electron. Need to fill electrons in these orbitals first of all. N2. Nitrogen 7 atomic number. N2 means 2 nitrogens. 2 into 7, 14. Plus 1 means, so here 1 electrons less. 1 electron less. 13 electrons. 13 means 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. These two are having same energy, hence need to fill as per Hund's rule. This is unpaired electron. So we want do not contains unpaired electron. Unpaired electron is there, that's why wrong option. O2. O2 means oxygen atomic number 8. 2 oxygens to 8, 16 electrons need to fill. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. 2 unpaired electrons are there. That's why it is also wrong option. Do not contain unpaired electron. That is the right question here. Next, O2 minus 2. O2 minus 2 means 2 extra electrons are there. 16 plus 2, 18 electrons are there in O2. Already how many filled? 16 filled in this. 2 more extra given, that's why 1. Right? All are paired only, electrons all are paired only. No unpaired electron. That's why right option is O2 minus 2. Getting all of you? Right. Does not contain unpaired electron. You follow like that. For example, B2 taken. B2 means boron atomic number 5, electrons also 5. 2 borons are there, 2 Ys are 10. 10 electrons must be filled. 10 means less than 14. 14 means 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. That's it. 2 unpaired electrons. Unpaired electrons are there in B2 also. Unpaired electrons are not there in O2 minus 2. Hence, right option is C. Next, which of the following has the highest bond angle? Bond angle you can find which is based on hybridization. For sp 180 degrees, sp2 120 degrees, sp3 109 degrees, like that you can easily find. So now, hybridization Z is equal to, I gave formula already in the previous question. Valence electrons minus Z is equal to valence electrons of central atom plus monovalent atoms plus anion charge minus cation charge. Z is equal to half into beryllium central atom valence electrons 2. Though there are 2 monovalent chlorine atoms. Chlorines are monovalent, valence 1 only, hence monovalent, 2 chlorines totally. 2 monovalent chlorine atoms. No positive charge, no negative charge. Then 2 you will get. 2 means sp hybridization. Z2 means. sp hybridization bond angle is 180. Shape is linear, we know already. Right? 180 bond angle. I think it is not visible. So bond angle is 180 for sp hybridization. 180 degrees. BCl3. Z I am calculating half into boron central atom. For boron valence electrons 3. There are 3 monovalent atoms plus 3 plus 0 minus 0. No cation, no anion charge. Then answer will be 3. 3 means sp2 it is. sp2 means bond angle is 120 degrees. So next, for methane tetrahedral structure, as you know that bond angle is 109.5 degrees. Calculate like this, 109.5 degrees. In SF6 bond angle will be 90 degrees anywhere. You find like that, students, you will come to know by hybridization formula. So here highest bond angle in BeCl2, that is sp hybridization 180 degrees, right? Okay, students, last bit in this assignment. Which of the following options represents the correct bond order? Bond order must be calculated. Oxygen given, oxygen molecule configuration just now written, that is sigma 1s, sigma 1 star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, sigma 2pz, pi 2px, pi 2py, sigma, here pi star 2px, pi star 2py, and sigma star 2pz. This is the configuration for a molecule with greater than 14 electron like oxygen. So first O2 minus 2, for example O2, for O2 we will observe 1s2, 2s2. O2 means oxygen atomic number 8, electrons also 8. There are O2, O2 means 2 oxygens, 2 8s are 16 electrons need to fill. 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Bond order, calculate. Bond order is equal to half into bonding electrons minus anti-bonding electrons. Bonding electrons minus anti-bonding electrons. Right? So bonding electron means without star. Anti-bonding means star electrons. Bonding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 minus, half is there. Half into 10 minus anti-bonding with star anti-bonding. 2, 4, 5, 6. 10 minus 4, 10 minus 6 equal to 4. 4 by 2 means 2. It means bond order will be 2 for O2. 2 bonds are there. Next, O2 minus 1 we will consider. Minus 1 means 1 extra electron than O2, correct? So 1 extra electron means this extra electron added here because these are half filled, first filled. So O2 minus if I consider. For O2, just now written bond order is, it is for O2 bond order. For O2 minus 1 extra electron should be added. Minus 1 means extra 1, O2 16, minus 1 means 17. Count 17 you will get. So now bond order for O2 minus is equal to half into bonding electrons again 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 common. Antibonding 2, 4, 6, 7, 10 minus 7 that is equal to how much it is 3, 1.5 you will get. It is O2 minus 1. It is O2. O2 plus 1 if you observe. Plus 1 means 1 less electron. So here O2 contains 16 electrons. O2 plus 1 contains 15 electrons. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. That's it. Only 15. Bond order of O2 plus is equal to half into bonding electrons 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 remains the same. Antibonding 2, 4, 5, 6, 5 only, 10 minus 5. It is equal to 2.5. O2 plus 2.5, O2 minus 1.5. So right option, O2 plus 2.5 bond order, O2 2 bond order, O2 minus 1.5 bond order, less than order, no, it is. That's why right option is option B. Very, very important question. I hope understood everything, you understood everything. Follow classes regularly and study well, right?